What's up, guys? I'm going to show you how to meal prep and not make it daunting. So typically when you would meal prep, you're probably going to meal prep on a Sunday, cook everything, measure, weigh it out, so that you have all your meals Monday through the following Saturday, and then do it all again. Now, that's one way to do it, and you can definitely do it that way. I don't like doing it that way because for me it's tedious, and by the time even Thursday or Friday rolls around, I really don't want the meals that I cooked almost a week ago. So what I do is I try to cook everything about 3 days in advance. I'll start Sunday, I'll cook for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I will do the same thing usually Wednesday night. It seems like it's more difficult, but I find that it's actually a little bit easier for a couple of reasons. One is the meals stay fresher longer. I'm not tying up a ton of freezer or fridge space, and I can kind of manipulate and change things as I go, utilizing the same macros, but just adding different things like green beans instead of broccoli. Broccoli might sound good for the week, but by Wednesday, you're probably gonna get sick of broccoli. So I like to mix it up and just do some different variations. So I'm gonna show you guys what I do, and hopefully it works out well. All right, so here's what we got going on. This is about a week's worth of groceries right here. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we got 2 pounds of 99% lean ground turkey. We got about 5 pounds of chicken breasts. I have 5 or 6 sweet potatoes. Usually I'll mix in some rice too. I already have the rice, so that's why you don't see it. And then of course we have some veggies. Typically I'll cut up some broccoli, steam some broccoli, the green beans out here, but I buy frozen green beans just because they hold a little bit longer and you can kind of cook them on a per meal basis if needed. Asparagus, for a few reasons. One is it helps as a filler, tons of good fiber, and then it also has some diuretic effects. So if you're cutting, it'll help you shed a little bit of water if you're retaining any. And then for my fat sources, I put my peanut butter up already, but I have all natural peanut butter. Usually the only peanut butter I buy is either the ground peanut butter at the store, or this time around I picked up Adams. So no additives, no extra oils or sugars or anything like that. But typically my go-to for fats are just avocados. Each one of these is between about 70 and 80 grams. So right around 12 to 14 grams of fat, which is perfect on a per meal basis. So this is pretty much everything I get on a week-to-week basis, not including what I picked up for my family. I would say that this is about 35 to $50 worth of food. You'd be looking at a couple $100 a month, if that, to eat really clean. So we want to cut all the junk off of it. This stuff right here. Ugh. And then I usually cut it into small strips. So I almost kind of cube it. And usually the reason I do this, it just cooks a little bit quicker. It also makes it so that you can, in my opinion, fit more into the pan, but I'm sure the volume's all the same. So just something I've kind of always done. Biggest thing is that it just cooks quicker. So I'll usually do this with about 3 chicken breasts, 3 to 4, and that's usually about enough meals for 3 days, sometimes 4, but usually 3.5. So I'll do a couple more of these so you guys can see, then we'll get to cooking. Chicken's cut. We're not going to season it yet. What we're going to do is come over here and get a big pan. So this one I think is 13 or 15 inches. This is your standard 12-inch pan. These guys come in handy because you can fit more food in them. So I got all my seasonings over here. This is what I typically use, and of course there's more. Generally the Lawry's. Been on this red hot kick, but there's a little bit of salt and some sugars sugars I should say in them. And a couple of other things, whereas the Lawry's is just more regular seasoning. I always stick to pink Himalayan sea salt. Can't recommend enough. Get away from the aerosol spray. This is Pam non-stick, and I just fill it up with avocado oil once it runs out, but it's a mist, so you don't have to worry about the chemicals from the aerosol. To seasoning, what I recommend is usually just start with a little bit of Himalayan pink sea salt, and then I'll usually just use a little bit of Lawry's. And then I kind of leave it at that. That way, if on Tuesday I feel like, hey, tacos sound really good, I can just add taco seasoning to what I'm putting in for my meal for the day. So I keep the seasoning as a whole fairly generic when I'm cooking it. All right, pan is now hot, so I usually turn it up to about 6 or 7. And just gonna get that all in there, and then we're gonna throw a lid on it. But we don't want to leave the lid on for too long, otherwise we're gonna end up with boiled chicken. We don't want boiled chicken, so we just let the heat kick up. Then we're gonna take the pan off, add some of our seasoning, and then just continue to kind of stir and keep an eye on it. Make sure that it crisps up nice. All right, and then when we're cooking our ground turkey, it's usually pretty easy. Hit it a couple times. 1, 2. And then we'll just kind of mix that around and season it. All right, so I know variety is key. A lot of times you can mix it up and do a ton of different types of meat. I try to keep it simple. I usually just either stick to chicken or turkey for the meals that I'm away. When I'm at home, I might cook beef, I might cook fish. It really just depends. So keeping it simple and just picking maybe 1 or 2 lean meats or meats of your choice that you want to stick to, 1 or 2 carb sources. Like I said, for me, I'm either doing rice or I'm doing potatoes. I'll cook rice about 2 to 3 days at a time. After that, rice is just gross. And then my hack for potatoes is I put them in the microwave rather than cooking them all at once. Sweet potatoes after a few days do not hold very well. And so I find that if I just stab them, put them in the microwave on the potato setting, it cooks them perfect almost every single time. So I do that. That way I do it in the morning. I can divide my sweet potatoes up so that they're nice and fresh. And then when it comes to my veggies, usually I'll just cook a little bit of each. So like I'm not gonna cook all this broccoli. I'm probably gonna cook maybe 1 to 2 heads. That'll be about 2 or 3 meals. I'll cook maybe 10 spears of asparagus and go about 3 spears per meal. So that'll give me about 3 to 4. And then I have my green beans on deck that will probably go in the remainder of the meals just because they're so easy to literally grab and throw in the pan. All right, chicken is cooked, nice and golden. Turkey is cooked. And then we have the broccoli going in there, and our sweet potato is almost done. So I'm gonna show you guys how we throw this together here in a second. All right, so from here, get your scale. If you don't have a scale, get one. So this is how I do it. I go big containers are gonna have my carbs because they take up more space. Small containers are usually just for the meals that are proteins and fats or proteins and veggies. So we'll throw this on here like so. Grab our sweet potato. So we got that in there. Right at 7.5. There we go. And then some broccoli over the top. So there we go. Again, it's not the prettiest. You can add some seasoning to this tomorrow, make it taste like whatever you want it to taste like. Repeat that for, for me, it's 4 meals that I'm not eating at home. So for 16 meals total that I'll be making tonight, putting together like this. You can do it and take a lot of time and make your tacos and make each day different. Or you can do it this way, save yourself about 5 hours of prepping and spend that doing something else that you enjoy, like movie time, which is what I'm about to go get to. I started this at 7:05, it's now 8:06. I'll be done in about 10 minutes. So an hour of my time done for half my week. You have proteins and fats, so keeping it super simple. I'm using right now Richard's nuts, Richard's peanuts. As you can see right here, ingredients, peanuts. Keep it simple. Enjoy this, and I will catch you next time.